Bob Schieffer, of course, longtime host of Face the Nation. I just found out that it's an hour long now. Who knew that? As Mark Thompson noted, it's felt like an hour long even when it was half an hour. But nonetheless, Bob Schieffer, fascinating host, usually does a better job than the rest in the Sunday talk shows, might be damning with faint praise. But one of the parts of the show that I like is at the end when he says something that's either folksy or something he's really riled up about. And this week he was riled about freedom of the press, as he should be, and the Obama administration's encroachment on it. Let's watch.
People often ask me, of all the administrations you've covered, which was the most secretive and manipulative? The Nixon administration retired the trophy, of course. Since then, my answer is whichever administration is currently in power. So I am glad the president has asked the Attorney General to review whether his investigations into leaks is having a chilling effect on journalists. But it shouldn't stop there. The president needs to rethink his entire communications policy, top to bottom. It is hurting his credibility.
Now, look, in Washington, them's fighting words. And wow, that was a reporter saying the most obvious thing in the world. But hey, there's a bit of an opinion there for about 38 seconds, right? Like, bring it down, Bob. You're at a 10. You need to be at a 2. But you know what? Also, right again, Bob. Okay, doesn't happen that often. So, not in case of Bob Schieffer, but Bob overall. Anyway, look, I agree with him. Now, he was going to take what I think is a fairly obvious point. The Obama administration has been cracking down on freedom of the press, not just spying in on Associated Press and doing a dragnet, looking at all those reporters' calls and emails to figure out what's happening, but specifically targeting Jay Rosen at Fox News Channel in terms of calling him a co-conspirator, an aider and abetter of criminal activity just for publishing his story or going to air with his story. I think that's an outrageous breach no matter who it's against. But then Schieffer's going to talk about his personal experience as well. Let's go to that.
It's reached the point that if I want to interview anyone in the administration on camera, from the lowest level worker to a White House official, I have to go through the White House press office.
Now, that doesn't evoke a terrific amount of sympathy. You know, in everyday world, I'm not sure we know what levels Schieffer has to go through and whether he's hurt that he went to a lower level when he could have just gone there. I would have left that out of it, right? But nonetheless, I understand what he's saying. He's saying, look, we used to be able to interview guys, and you'd ask them, and then come on, now you got to go through all the different PR departments at the White House, and what happens is the truth gets filtered out. Now, he didn't say that part, but that's part of what he's implying. Now, David Axelrod was the guy whose job it was to filter out the truth when he was in the Obama administration. Now he's in the part of the Obama administration called MSNBC. And so he now responds to Schieffer.
The notion that, you know, the public should be concerned or disturbed, or the taxpayers being cheated because Bob can't book the guests he wants, I'm unsympathetic to that. I understand why he's frustrated about it.
As I said, it opened him up for Axelrod to be like, oh, you couldn't get the guests you wanted. But Axelrod, that's not the main point. And you know, the main point is that you guys targeted journalists, whether it was spying in on them or even calling them aiders and abettors for simply doing their job and doing investigative journalism. And the most shocking part of the story is that somebody did investigative journalism at Fox News and you wanted to punish them rather than reward them? Okay, I would have been like, hallelujah, it actually happened, no matter who they did it against. So score one definitely for Bob Schieffer in this case. And Axelrod, of course, was a flack for the Obama administration when he was in it. He's a flack for them when he's out of it. It's ironic that, you know, that any of those guys would talk about credibility, because they certainly have no credibility in this regard.